This week on NOFOMO, I'm sitting down with the trader who's been taking the scenic route to his success. Ferny J, from chasing the dreams in real estate to finding the true grind in the markets. Ferny opens up about his mental battles, the wins, the losses, and the lessons that shaped his trading journey. We're talking price action, market structure, and risk management, and the discipline that it takes to trade without losing your mind or your money. Whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, this episode gives you the mindset fuel that you need to keep pushing forward. Let's get it. What is happening, guys? It's Woodz. We back with another episode of NOFOMO, man. And today we got Ferny J on the line, man. What is happening, Ferny J?
Not much, man. Blessed. Happy to be here.
Hey, too blessed to be stressed. You feel me? Hey, man, I am happy to have you on, bro, because I've been watching your social media progress, man, and what you're doing with your trading. I like how you structure your stuff. I like how you got your flow going, man, and I feel like you could bring some value to the community, man, on what's going on with your trading, how your mindset is and everything. So I just had to have you on, man. I hit you up like, hey, let's chop it up, big bro. So tell me, how did you first get into day trading and what inspired you to pursue it seriously?
Okay, so the day trading journey, it hasn't really been like a linear one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't necessarily I got into it and as soon as I discovered the charts, I just dove into it and it's just been like all the way up. It's been a long and arduous journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I first found out about trading I knew the concept of trading. I heard about it, I understood that there was like a stock market and people would invest money, take money in and out of it, but that I had no idea. The first time that I saw a price action chart, I thought it was like I don't know what those things are called, like the medicine in the medical field, there was like a heartbeat monitor. I'm like, what are all these lines? It was an alien concept to me altogether, right?
Right.
But what I did understand was that this is something that people would do and it would give them freedom, right? So I started to look up a lot of YouTube videos and I started to watch a lot of personalities online. And if I'm being honest, what attracted to it at first was the lifestyle, right? I think that's what attracts a lot of traders, right? So they see the lifestyle, they see the fruits of the labors of a lot of traders who, have been doing it for a long, long time. So it kind of paints this picture of what it isn't. It doesn't doesn't show you what it actually is, right? So when I first found out about trading, it was about 4 years ago. In this point in time, I was still working a job and I was pursuing a career in real estate. So I kind of, okay, this is cool. This is what trading is. I was watching videos, but I wasn't taking it like seriously. I demo traded. I started to listen to audiobooks as well. About 4 years ago, I was working at UPS and I started to listen to a lot of Mark Douglas. I started with Trading in the Zone, Disciplined Trader, and these books, I wouldn't say they're hard to understand, but you really have to like read them and listen to them a long time because it starts to dive deep. And again, this is before I ever opened a trading account, right? So the concept of trading attracted me immediately before I even understood that it's about probabilities and you have to build up the skill set over time, right? That it really had to do with an internal belief structure that you have within yourself.
Right.
So as I was listening to these audiobooks, I'm like, you know what? I'm interested in this. I was still working at UPS, but I kind of let it go, right? It wasn't something it was more like an interest. Like coming from someone who never even understood what this was. I never even seen a price action chart in my life. And when I did, it was very confusing. I didn't know what I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we went forward with that and I became a real estate agent because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was a small child, right? I was the kid with the lemonade stand, like standing out front. And my father was also an entrepreneur. He was an immigrant.
Okay.
So he came from Cuba in the 90s as a refugee, political asylum, I believe it's called. My grandmother still has like the newspaper that Cuban refugees just docked in Miami, Florida. I'm from Miami, by the way. He came here and he had me at a later age. He had me when he was almost 40, right? I was, they didn't know if they were going to have a second child because they had my brother, who was born in Cuba, and he was already 13, 14 years old by the time I was born, right? So they
Yeah.
had me because they saw me, okay, this is another opportunity. They didn't know they were going to come here.
Right.
In this arc, right, I saw my father go from a mechanic, an apprentice, to opening up his own mechanic shop, to then
Mm.
opening up a trucking business, investing in real estate. And that had a profound, I think I already was wired towards entrepreneurship, but that had a profound impact on me as well because I saw the work ethic. I knew what it took, and I knew that I wanted to emulate that in some capacity.
Mm.
So I started to pursue real estate, right? And you get licensed, you take the exam, and you pour a lot into it. And I was starting to see success in it, right? I was making decent money, more money than I'd made like ever in a month, as a real estate agent, coming from somebody who I dropped out of college. I knew I wasn't going to go the college route, and I worked a lot of jobs, a lot of like part-time jobs, some full-time, and this is the first venture into our entrepreneurship. So, I know I'm going on a long tangent here, but
All good.
what I want to circle back to is, as I had a moment when I was studying one of the real estate books to pass the exam, that I was looking at a chart, right?
Mm.
And in this chart was showing the housing market cycles. So in
Mm.
every market there's contractions, expansions, consolidations, right? And I
Right.
and I saw that, right? And I was like, that looks a lot like the trading stuff, right? Right?
Yeah.
Coming from someone who never even I'm telling you, I thought like I was looking at this chart. I'm like, dude, is this like some sort of medical thing? Like, what is this? I had never seen that in my life.
Right.
And that planted a seed.
Mm.
So I still didn't pursue trading. I had listened to a few audiobooks. I understood that it was something that you can sort of, it's a form of investment, but with rapid consequences, right? It's not
Right.
long-term investment. It's active investment. So that planted a seed, and I started to pursue real estate. I closed a few deals. At this point I was around 23 years old, and then I it wasn't really doing it for me. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, I'm the type of person that when I start something, I see it to the end, but I can be very honest with myself and be like, you know what? I don't think that this is for me.
Mm.
So it was in that point in time, which was about 2 years ago,
Mm.
right? So I've known about trading at this point for 2 years.
Okay.
So 2 years ago, that's when I started to like actually. So I bought a physical copy of, I don't have it here, of Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone book,
Mm.
and I would just start to read it because I knew I wanted to pivot. I was seeing this lifestyle that other people on social media were living online, and I was seeing the personal freedom and the it wasn't just the amount of money, it was in the way that they were making it, and
Mm.
how like it seemed like it was such a simple skill that these guys chart out their mornings, they trade, and then they have that freedom for the rest of the
Mm.
day. So I'm like, I'm gonna give this trading stuff a try. So in that point in time, I had picked up Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, and I would just read it. And again, that book, it's not a very large book, but the concepts in it, especially if you've never been exposed to any sort of like something that is showing you that your beliefs, like it's about your beliefs. The book isn't telling me about trading. It's telling me about your beliefs and what makes a great trader and a poor trader, right? And
Right.
the pitfalls that we all fall into based on our own human psychology. And then I would, okay, so I'm going to start demo trading, right? Well, no, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm leaving a whole another portion of the story out. I started to try to trade,
Mm.
right? And I again I never was into investment. I had no mentorship. I literally had nobody around me who was into this stuff at all. I just came upon it. It seemed interesting. I started to look up a lot of things online, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to trade, right?
Mm.
So I had no idea about risk management. I had no real rules or any sort of strategy.
Mm.
I would fund an account with a few $100s, right? And then I would try to flip it,
Mm.
basically, and
Right.
I know
Right.
I know some people do that, but
Yeah.
that's not necessarily that doesn't really give you any skill sets, right? It's more
Right.
gambling and
Right.
luck, right?
Right.
Unless you have some sort of systematic approach. Now, if that's who you are and you like to do that, that's fine with me. But I started to like, okay, I remember the first day I made like $3 on like I had like $150 in the account.
Mm.
I made like $3. I saw the profit. And I'm like,
Hold up.
yeah, hold on a minute. I'm on to something here.
Right, right.
I'm on to something here, my man. I'm like, yo, I could buy a cheeseburger. Like it was my I remember I was sitting in the park in my car, I closed it on the MetaTrader app. I'm like, huh, I just made $3. I can buy a cheeseburger, I can buy a candy, like something. This physically translates, right? And then I was hooked.
Real, real.
So
So,
ended
so
up
like, so like
yeah.
with that, and that brings me to my next question. Like, what were some of your biggest challenges that you faced early in your trading career?
Oh yeah. Okay. Again, at this point I was still sort of like I still didn't understand what trading was,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was loading these accounts
Mm,
with like $300 to $500 at a time. And I would basically just try to, you know, so how much was I risking? If I would have like $300 and I'd be or $400 or $500 and I'd be risking like $50, $80, right? That's my whole portfolio.
mm,
But what would happen, I had one day in particular where I had a bit of a revelation when I saw the power of trading, but this also put me down a path where I wasn't building the right habits, right?
mm,
So I
mm,
had a day where, you know what I mean? I was doing that sort of flipping, right? And I remember the morning I was trading what I trade now, right? So I've been
mm-hmm.
an active trader for 2 years pursuing this, and I trade Dow. I like to
Mm,
trade indices, and I literally just trade Dow CFDs. I do know about the futures market, but I've just been sticking to the one thing that I know.
right, right.
So I was trading Dow on this particular morning. I believe it was at 7:30. I wasn't, again, I'm telling you, I knew nothing about trading. I didn't know that it was a consistency game. I was
Mm,
listening to a lot of the psychology, but it wasn't necessarily resonating fully. It was just planting the seeds there, right? And I had turned $200 into around $3,000.
oh, nice.
And that was, I mean, I was ecstatic, man. I was doing like, I'm like, what? What? I was crazy. I had opened a position, right? And it was floating in profit pre-market
Mm-hmm.
around like 8 a.m., 8:30, right? And then I believe at the time I had timed it with the market open and it was a
Mm,
trending day. So I just started to add to my position and I turned
mm,
200 into like $3,000.
right, right.
And at that point, dude, I'm like, yo,
All in.
my brother, I was like, yo, this is for me, man. This is
Yeah,
for me,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was ecstatic, dude. I mean, I'd worked out. I was going crazy. You know, the dopamine and the testosterone when you
Right, right.
in it kind of you're like you're
Yeah.
really hyped up, right? Obviously, but that's I'm going. This is gonna pivot into the bad habits that I was building. I had taken my mom out to dinner. Had withdrawn that money. It hit my bank account. It was real. I'm like, holy crap, right?
Mm,
This was about 2 years ago when I had just started to trade, actually live trade. And obviously, that never happened again. I had lost thousands of dollars, $5,000 to $6,000 attempting to re-emulate that once again because I was just trying to flip accounts. I was just trying to
right,
gamble, right?
right.
So then at this point in time, the bad habits were already built within me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I had no actual like good chart habits, like routining, journaling, planning my trades,
Mm-hmm.
working out key levels, actually trading, not gambling.
Mm,
And I had watched a YouTube because I was still trying to find out how can I make a living from this because I knew this wasn't sustainable what I was doing.
mm-hmm.
I had started to watch YouTube videos and I heard about prop firms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like prop firms. What are prop firms, right? And basically, to me, at this point, it was like an alien concept as well. As like, oh, these are firms that when you pass evaluations, they can fund you with capital. I thought that this was. I know some firms do this, but prop firms, in the sense of the space that we're working in right now, these it's more like simulated accounts that pay you based on performance.
Right,
It's basically what
right.
it is. It's real money, real risk, but it's a simulated account. And I had believed that it was actual funding, right? So at
Mm-hmm.
this point in time, FTMO was still available to traders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how can I make a living from this, right? Because that's what I want to do. And I started to see these people talk about FTMO, FTMO. I kept hearing that come up. And I looked at this. I'm like, okay, so I can gain six figures of funding for about 500, $400 to $500.
Mm,
And if I can make 10%, because at this point I had kind of put two and two together. I'm like, okay,
right.
monthly return. It's like a good trader isn't, oh, I won big today. A good trader is I'm consistently pulling 8 to 10%
Right.
out of this market a month. That's a
Right.
pro, you know? So at this point in time, I realized, okay, it's about percentages and
Mm-hmm.
being able to emulate your performance over and over again. And I started to understand, okay, so this is rules based. I have to have rules. I have to approach the market in a systematic way. So I started to sim trade in preparation of buying my first FTMO account. And for about, I believe, 3 to 4 months, I was sim trading on a, like, I would load $100,000 into a paper trading account, and then I was sim trading. And I would just very simply just, I would look at price action, mark out my key levels, and then I would take a trade based on whatever price action was happening in the moment on my best guess, right? And because that's what we're doing. Even if you're the most seasoned professional trader, you're taking a guess.
Right. Right. It's always a
And
calculated risk.
exactly. And you have to embrace that risk. And I was doing this demo trading, and you know, I would make doing it this way in a rules based, okay, trade 1 to 2 trades a day. At this point, I still didn't have a necessary, I was like placing these trades like at noon,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in the afternoon. I would place them and leave them, see what would happen.
Oh,
And
wow. Really random.
yeah, yeah, really random. I wasn't timing it pre-market or market open. Like I wasn't, I would take a trade overnight. I wouldn't necessarily, it was really random. There was no like, hey, I'm gonna wait for the market open. I'm gonna trade at this time. This is when the most volatility and opportunity is present. I would just randomly trade. But on these sim accounts, I would make about 10% a month, 20, like risking 1% to make 2%, risking two, 1 to 2 risk reward ratios. And on these sim accounts, I would actually, and then it just happened once. It would happen 3 to 4 months in a row. I'm like, okay. So I actually have some, I have some sort of understanding. I can gauge market direction on a consistent enough basis that if I implement a rules-based approach, I can
Mm-hmm.
do this, right?
Right.
So obviously, that wasn't the case because what I realized was the best way I've heard it described is trading in a sim environment and trading in a live environment. Like, although the prop firm is simulated capital, there's risk there, and there's psychological risk, and there's ego, and there's wanting to win, and there's wanting to force an outcome, right? And
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm coming from the hard work paradigm, from the
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, call, be on it, be on it, be on it, force outcome, right? So when it was not real live capital, or at least there was money on the line or big reward on the line, I was able to operate in that environment because I was detached,
Mm.
and that's the best emotional state of being that a trader can be in is
Mm.
detachment.
Right.
It's really spiritual when you think about it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I was detached and I was making about 10 to 20% on these demos, and I'm like, dude, and I started to calculate, well, on a prop firm account, I can emulate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can make 6 figures a year, and I'm working for myself, and I'm doing. So I started to trade these prop firms, right? And I started with FTMO.
Mm.
And my first account, I blew it within 30 seconds.
Man, that's classic trader shit right there, right?
Yeah, man.
Man, we done all did it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like can you um can you describe a major turning point in your trading journey? When did things start clicking for you?
Things I in no way, shape, or form say that I'm the best trader, that I have it all figured out, man. Because I
Right.
really don't. Because I
Right.
really don't. Because
Right.
just this week I overtraded.
Right.
I
Right.
broke even. I broke even, but I overtraded.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I
Yep.
in no way, in shape, or form say that I got it figured out. I've been able to improve my level of consistency,
Mm-hmm.
right? And start to create some form of profitability for myself.
Right.
But going back to the FTMO, I blew that account within 30 seconds. I blown that account in 30 seconds, and I started to realize, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I not operating the same way? Like, what's going on here, right? So then that's when I started to figure out that there's a psychological gap.
Mm-hmm.
There's right there's this projected performance of what you can accomplish.
Mm.
It's there. You have the data. I back tested. I demoed. I have the data. I wrote it down. I had like a stack of pages this thick with like hundreds of trades saying, oh, I'm trading with a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, and I'm getting 50, 60% wins. I'm making 8, 10% a month, right? And then there's the actual performance. This is when we're going to get into that. I began to shift my mindset because trading is a performance. It's a performance. It's like being in a basketball game, right? Steph Curry is one of the best shooters of all time. I think his overall field goal percentage for his career is like 40, up in the mid 40s. So he misses 50% of the time. And what I began to realize was that as I started to kind of like make more rules, and I didn't just blow that account, right? I
Mm-hmm.
had blown that account. I was still trading randomly. I was trading at random hours. I would take trades in the London session, like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I had no strategy. Like I would trade in the
Right.
morning, the same I would trade at in the afternoon that I would trade at night, right? I
Right.
would just see something randomly and just impulse jump into it, right? I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't time my trades. I wouldn't look for the setup.
Mm.
At this point in time, I began to really dive deeper into the psychology aspect of things. And I began to sort of understand that, and I'm gonna be honest, I blew like 20 accounts
Mm-hmm.
in this learning curve,
Mm.
right? And the moment that things began to turn for me was so FTMO, in that process of me learning with them, they stopped.
Right. Right.
And then
Discontinued service for the US.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? And at that point, I was kind of lost because I'm telling you, I find one thing the same way that I found the one thing that I trade, the one instrument
Mm-hmm.
that I trade, which is Dow right now. I find one thing and I stick with it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
personality trait of mine. So I'm like, okay, so FTMO is gone. What are there any other prop firms?
Mm.
And then I started to trade with a prop firm. I don't know if should I, is it all right if I
Yeah,
mention the
that's cool.
name?
That's cool. Yeah.
I started trading with a prop firm called the Funded Trader. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you were aware of them.
The funded. Never heard of them.
The TF,
I've heard of my funded. I think it's my funded FX or my funded something. I can't remember the name, but I know it's
yeah.
my funded something.
Yeah. I started to trade with prop firm. They were pretty big at the time. They were like appearing on podcasts. Like it
Mm.
was like they had motion,
Right.
right? So, excuse me. They presented themselves to me. I saw them. They came up. I don't know where I found them, but I started to trade with them. And that's when I'd passed my first funded and I had
Mm.
actually gotten funded.
Man.
So that was a great feeling. I'm like, okay,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I had passed my funded account and I think I made like 2% on the funded account. I'm like, let me request a payout. And I requested a payout. And at this point, you know, I was like, okay, I have back tested data I can trade.
Mm.
My skill set in the markets is improving enough to where I can get funded. That's not an
Right.
accident. You know what I
Right.
mean? It wasn't like I took one lucky trade. It was a series of trades. So I'm like, that
Right.
wasn't an accident. So let me lock in my first payout so I can psychologically get that win. Okay, I'm understanding this. And literally around the same time that I requested that payout, they stopped.
Oh
They
man,
went, yeah,
I
yeah.
knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Damn.
I felt like I was cursed. I
Right.
felt like I had worked for like a year straight, blowing accounts, trying to get into this.
Right.
Like, so you tell them I just did all this, and I request my payout, and then a whole fiasco. They basically went bankrupt. They went.
Right.
I think they're still operating, bro, but their reputation just
Is smashed. Yeah.
gone. Everybody in the comment section, and I'm not throwing no
Yeah.
shade, man. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just experienced, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And everyone in the comment section of their videos like scam, scam, denied payout on all their Instagram posts, denied payout, scam, scam. I'm like,
Ooh man.
I just requested my payout,
Yep.
and man, I quit for a
Ooh, that
couple
is
months.
crushing. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
crushing.
I quit for a couple months. I quit for a couple months, man.
Mm. Man.
And I started to work again, and I started to. I'm just gonna save up money, man.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know
Right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? And I ended up getting that payout, but it took like 8 months, man. I'm telling you, one day it randomly had hit my bank account. And
Wow.
I'm
So
like, oh,
they were trying to build their reputation back by paying out who they had denied before.
exactly.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the heck is this? And it hit my bank account like but 8 months later, at this point I had already given up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They put a spark in you to pick it back up.
yeah, exactly.
Uh.
I was still at this point I was still obsessed. I was still
Mm-hmm.
watching podcasts. I was
Right.
listening to a lot of YouTube videos. I'm talking about like every day was routine for me to listen to at least like half an hour to an hour of trading content,
Mm.
right? At this point, I was also shifting from the Lamborghini, Ferrari mansion. I'm closing six-figure positions every week, like to like, hey, this is a skill set that you can develop, that those things can be accomplished,
Right.
but you shouldn't strive for that, right?
Right.
So
So
I
you
was,
starting to get a base of reality in it.
yes, a base of
Yeah.
reality. I was starting to get a base of reality of, so there's the this is when the turning point for me was, there's a I forgot what it was called, but there's I think it's called the success curve, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
you start with uninformed optimism.
Mm.
You're naive, you're green.
Mm-hmm.
You take those hits like I did when I blew all those accounts, and I'm like, oh crap, this is not what I thought it was going to be. There's a whole different level of skill sets, mental skill sets that you have to develop to operate in the markets.
Mm.
And then it was informed optimism, and pessimism. I'm like, I quit. Like this is not what I thought it was, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And and then when I got that first payout, I had started to go to the informed optimism.
Mm.
Started to regain the optimism, regain the energy and the drive to actually pursue this again hard,
Mm-hmm.
but from a different angle, with realistic expectations of making my own progress and not trying to. It's like you just started the gym and you're trying to bench 315.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, you're not going to do that. It makes no
Right.
sense. Why?
Right.
Why? But that's the thing with trading. I believe that there's a misconception with, because okay, what do we do as traders?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we
Click a
do.
mouse. Right.
Look at that. We make it systematic. So there's a misconception with how easy it seems and the qualifications that you actually need
Right.
to operate in
Right.
any market environment, no matter what you do.
Mm.
And there's qualifications of having like very, very precise back tested data that you
Mm-hmm.
you can look at. You have to have the qualifications of being able to manage yourself and manage risk. So I like to break it down into three categories. You have to have a good technical base, meaning that on a consistent basis, you have to be able to predict the market movement on a consistent basis. Obviously, not always,
Right.
but on a consistent enough basis to win.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand risk management, which is a combination of whatever your projected R, your return is, your profit factor, and your win rate, and how
Mm-hmm.
those two things combine to give you a positive equity curve. And then the most important part is, so trading psychology, but it's really trading biology, because this was, I'm going to get into the biggest turning point that I had. So this is, at this point, the biology aspect of it is when I began to understand how important this was. The lifestyle you have to live to be consistently successful. I had already gotten two payouts. I was starting to make all the money back that I had lost, and I was starting to feel like, okay, like I'm
Right.
I'm getting this. I'm getting this. I've
Mm-hmm.
passed. I've passed and blown fundeds, but I've passed fundeds consistently multiple
Mm-hmm.
times, and I've gotten two payouts. So I started to trade with other prop firms, and I had gotten funded like six figures.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the technicals. I understand my methodology. I've simplified it in a way that makes sense to me, and I've produced consistent results. I was funded about a few $100,000, and I was waiting on about $13,000, $14,000 payout, right? And during this time, I was on a huge winning streak, and I was really just locked in. It was like everything is paying off. Everything's paying off, right? I'm not just randomly. I'm buying and selling. I'm shorting and longing based upon what my methodology tells me. I'm following my rules. I'm following my risk management. But in that time period, I had made around 13 to $15,000 in about 2 weeks, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm on my way to be a six figure a month trader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm on my way. So I was what I like to call, I was in an altered state. I was
Hmm.
in an altered state, right? At that point in time, what I should have done was, okay, the week is about to end. I'm up this amount. Let's relax.
Right.
Let's let it sit there. I'm about to get a 5-figure payout, and it's about to, it's gonna be, it's huge, huge. Everything's paying off. You know what I mean? So I had gotten other payouts. I was about to get the largest payout to date that I had gotten, and the day of, I had traded that New York morning session, and I ended green. That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. You did a great job, right? Left. I had ran some errands. I had went out, talked to people, and I come back at around noon. And this was during the China Trump, the Trump tariffs. This was a few months ago. So I had ended the day green. I was due for a payout, a large one at that. And I'm like, I'm looking at the market and I'm like, you know, it was when market tanked. I don't know if you remember a few months ago. Of course, you do. The market just completely tanked because
Yep.
of the tariffs in China, the whole fiasco.
That was the toughest 2 weeks for me in a long time,
Oh
bro.
man, tell me about it.
Woo.
Tell me about it.
That was crazy, nuts. I lost so much that those 2 weeks, and I had to take the following 2 weeks after. I had to take a break. I was shook. I had to build my
Yeah, man.
nerve back up to actually get
Yeah, man.
involved again.
That was a difficult time for everybody,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
The market conditions were insane.
that is nuts, man. And
Yeah,
and and it's crazy how much volatility is in the market with all this uncertainty with him being in office. But it's a good time for traders.
it
Like, for
is.
real,
It
if you
is.
know what you're doing, it's a
Yep.
good time for traders. So like once we got past all that crazy volatility, then things started moving where you could actually get something every day.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Like,
It was a tough time.
so like, tell me, man, I see you're a pretty fit guy.
Yes.
So there's a bit of discipline there in your personal life. So tell me, how do you balance trading with your personal life, especially on days with high market volatility?
Wow. That's a very good question. So, uh, when it comes to fitness, I I try to, when it comes to balance, I try to see everything the same way. So to me, every time I'm in the markets, it's a rep. Every time I'm in the gym, every session,
Hmm,
it's a rep.
hmm,
I'm stacking up wins, right? So the confidence that I gain from being a disciplined person in the gym
hmm,
translates. Now, you still have to be careful. I'll get into that, but it translates into the confidence that you get in your system and your edge, your
hmm.
discipline, right?
Right,
So they go
right.
hand in hand. They're like a pillar. And I don't like to see it as a balance. I like to see the two are intertwined,
Hmm,
right? Because
hmm,
trading is a game of promises, right? You have to promise you're not going to break your rule set. You have to promise you're not going to over leverage, over risk, or do anything that is going to hurt you in the long run and self sabotage you. And actually, something I've learned is, so that day that was due for the payout, I was green that day. I traded the New York Open. I believe I was long, and I got in and out because I gravitated towards scalping. So I got in and out, and I went, I worked out, right? And I was feeling like the man,
hmm.
right? I had
You're
finished doing
him.
some, yes,
Feeling like him.
Timothy.
Yeah.
I was feeling like the man. And I had done my thing, ended green that day, big winning streak, right? And I think I was green like 12 days in a row.
Hmm,
Came home, it's about 1 p.m. and I started doing push-ups and I'm all good, I'm doing my routine. In this chair right now, I sit down and look at the market. I'm like, that looks good. So I take a short position, right? I believe there was like a sell-off of a zone of supply that I had marked out. Like, I would take it had given like 3 rejection candles. And I'm like, I'm gonna take a short position here, bro. And I had taken it. So my sizing for that account was 2 lots, right? Because I'm
hmm,
trading like Forex, CFDs. It was
hmm,
2 lots. I had gotten stopped out of the position. So I'd given the profits back for that day, but it wasn't catastrophic, right? And this is when we get to the biology aspect of this, right? I'm feeling like the man, I'm euphoric, testosterone, dopamine, all those things are in my bloodstream. And I'm viewing the market I'm in an altered state. I didn't realize it at the time. And I lose that position quick, get stopped out, right? So what I do is, and this is, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. Anybody who's like, will see this, I'm like, yeah, obviously, yeah, it's gonna happen to you, but I'm not embarrassed about this. I took a 2 lot, I lost. So what did I do? I took a 4 lot.
Doubled up. Yep.
Oh
We
yeah. Oh no.
we've all done that. So
Yep.
yep.
Yep. I took a 4 lot. I leave the room. I leave the. This is how you know that I wasn't in the right state of mind. I'm like, I'll just take the 4 lot. I'm gonna just leave. I'll come back when it's. I enter the room and I see it was like 5 minutes before the 90-day pause on the tariffs had gotten announced.
Mm.
Boom.
Oh man.
And I'm like, but I didn't know.
Right. Right.
So I had come back in. I sat down like, what's going on here?
Man.
I'm like, what's going on here, bro? So I see it spike up. It was like on the 15-minute chart, on the 15-minute candlestick, just spike up. This big green candle, like huge candle. And I'm like, wait a minute. So it spikes up and immediately rejects. I had lost the 2 lot and the 4 lot. Now I'm red on the day, but I'm still profitable for the month, week.
Right.
Fernando, get out of here, bro. Nah, that's not what I did.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw rejection on that candlestick, I took an 8 lot. Boom, blew my account. I blew my account and I blew my payout.
Damn.
Yeah, and that was a big turning point for me because at this point in time, I had started from nothing, man. I'm telling you, I didn't know anything about charts, price. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I started to trade, blowing account after account, found my payout, got denied, got back into it, gotten some more payouts. I was about to receive the biggest payout to date, feeling like the man, feeling overconfident, and then I realized the market humbled me. It absolutely crushed me. And bro, I have been through a lot of my life, and that had to be one of the hardest moments for me as an individual
Mm.
because I felt like I believe I was depressed for 2 days.
Right. Right.
Actual depression, man.
Mm.
I felt like I was having like an out of body experience. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, why did I do that, man? And it's just for 2 days, bro. My family didn't see it. I really put up a good facade,
Right. Right.
a good
And that's
front.
something about being a trader, man. You go
Yes,
through all this shit, and everybody else around you is still going on with their lives, and you about to break the fuck down. And and then here they are. How you doing? You got it. You just got to smile and keep pushing
yeah.
through.
Oh, how's
It's all
trading
good.
going? How's trading
Yeah.
going?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's
It's
good,
cool.
man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's crazy.
that was a pivotal moment for me, bro. And since then, I've been funded multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I mean, that I feel like I'm hitting my stride now. I'm still learning. I'm still developing my edge in the
Right,
markets. I'm still
right.
learning. And after that moment, I feel like I developed a sort of self-love for myself
Mm-hmm.
because I understood I wasn't perfect and I'm not perfect.
Nice.
And those are the type of mistakes that make us as traders, really, man.
Indeed. So like, man, I wanted to touch on your trading strategies and practices. What's your primary trading strategy, and how did you develop it?
Okay, so when I first was introduced to trading, I was introduced to like moving average crosses,
Mm.
right? So I was like, okay, so I did not really know anything, but I was like, okay, so when this line crosses this line, that's a
Mm-hmm.
sell signal. When this line crosses that line, so indicators. And I started to kind of play with it. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Mm.
And I literally, so in that time when so again, I started with no strategy.
Mm.
I started to gamble. And I had gotten that misconception from the things I was seeing online and then the flipping hundreds into thousands. And I'm like, yo. So I'm like, okay, I blew a lot of money, thousands of dollars, and I realized, okay, this is something that needs more systematic, right? So what I started to do is I started to trade based on price action in my demo testing, right? Just simple supply demand concepts, right? I mean, the market, no matter how you view it, it always boils down to supply demand,
Mm.
right? The market structure, the market history, it's always supply demand. It's always there's an influx of buyers here, an influx of sellers here, and the market has a memory.
Mm-hmm.
It always boils down to market structure. So when I started to back test and demo trade, I would say I started to get more disciplined about my timing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then I started to take trades at market open, right? And in my analysis, again, I'm trading a major indice, a stock index. I'm trading Dow,
Right. Right.
right? So this is a heavily manipulated market, but I had no concepts of market manipulation, and I would begin to realize, you know what I'm noticing? Prices almost every single time, price is shooting up to a certain level and then reversing.
Mm.
And I'm like, So what I started to come up with is at this point in time, when I started to actually like find some profitability, I'd passed my first funded, is okay, so I'm just gonna wait 5 to 10 minutes at market open,
Mm.
and as soon as I see a reversal, right? Because that's the manipulation,
Mm.
right? We're seeing the liquidity get swept, and then market continue to the actual direction that it's meant to go, wherever
Right.
they want to take it. Because
Right.
institutions, I didn't know this though, institutions are trying to get in at the best levels possible.
Right. Right.
So smart money. So I noticed, I'm like, if I just wait 5 to 10 minutes and then I see that there's like a lot of rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this level, or like these levels get ran through and then it continues to this side, a liquidity
Mm-hmm.
sweep, right? I had no idea about, I've only recently started learning about ICT concepts
Ah.
recently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
giving names to the things that I'm already seeing in the market,
Right.
and I'm
Right.
still studying. I'm green,
Right. Right.
and my strategy started to formulate around that New York Open.
When you get done with understanding that, I got something else for you that'll help you
Perfect, brother. I
put
would
all
love
that
that.
shit together for real.
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Send me that, man.
For
Thank you.
sure. For sure.
I started to come up with that strategy. Okay, so my strategy basically, I didn't really necessarily have a name for it. I didn't have a
Right.
process. I would try to gauge where market direction was going, using the higher time frames.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so there's a sort of, if we fade the long term trend and the short term trend, right? And let's say market's bullish, but in the morning it's going like first 5 to 15 minutes is selling off heavily and then
Mm-hmm.
rejecting, it's probably going to continue to the trend. So I
Right.
started to try to fade those two things, and basically I would just go wherever the market was, so the opposite of wherever the market was going in that first 5 to 10, 15 minute range,
Right. Right.
right? So that just based off of that, right? And understanding that I can't lose more than X percentage per day based on my system,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was half 1%. So I started to find some success with that, but then I realized that I need more confluence. I need something more accurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I started to develop my own strategy, a way of seeing the markets. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start how, you start off on the higher time frames.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna mark out your previous day highs and your previous day lows,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're gonna see how the London session trades overnight, right? And then based on that, we're gonna go into the shorter time frames. So on the higher time frames is our daily and our 4 hour, our 1 hour too. And then in the shorter time frames, I'm gonna use the 15 minute or the 30 minute to mark out key levels within that range, right? So if the market sort of like trades within that range, I know that that's going to be my trading range for the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then after I have my key levels marked up, I'm marking out on the 15 and the 30-minute chart. So we have the major key levels, which are the daily high and lows, and then we have the minor key levels, which are every single key level in the shorter time frame that is within that range. And then I'm basically looking for an entry, a key level to be where's liquidity at, where does price want to run to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm either trying to get into that liquidity while it's moving, or wait for the liquidity to get swept buy or sell side to then gain a good entry.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking for a supply or demand zone to be respected, or some sort of break of structure with a pull into, they call it fair value gap, or just a retest basically.
Right. Right.
I've refined my entries to that, and I usually look for an entry on the 5 and the 1 minute chart. And I've been moving towards scalping, getting risk rewards of no larger than 1 to 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started off as a 1 to 3 trader, and
Mm-hmm.
I had about a 40% win rate. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm gonna lower it. And when I did 1 to 2, I found success. I passed evaluations. I'd gotten payouts with 1 to 2. My win rate was around 50. And when I started to trade with a 1 to 1.5, sometimes even 1 to 1, I had a win rate of about 70 to 75%, right? And that can fluctuate, but it was steady. And like I'm trading for 2 months in a row and I'm getting this win rate here. So I lately have been shifting to having shorter risk rewards because I prefer having a larger win rate.
Mm. Okay.
Because the way I see it is I'm not trying to catch the whole move. If you're a swing trader or a large, you have a huge risk reward in your strategy, that's good. That's not bad. But based on my temperament, if I can spot a move happening, I just have to catch a small portion of that move.
Right.
And because I don't have to wait for price to go to the full key level that I may be targeting,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be profitable. So I just want to stack up those small wins. And that's where I've been at right now.
Small base hits.
Yes.
The only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, how do you approach your risk management on your trades? Do you have a specific system for cutting losses?
Mm-mm. So I have a daily max loss. I used to so right now I'm trading strictly props.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, with props, you have to have really tight, strict management.
Right.
I'm not against risking more than 2, 3% of your account because if I'm trading a personal account, I have to, what is a dollar amount that I'm okay with risking? And then I'll risk that, even if it's 3 to 5%,
Right.
right?
Right.
But because I'm trading props, I have a max daily loss, right? The prop game is a game that it's what made me more profitable because it made me have to follow a systematic rules-based approach and switch from
Yes.
gambling.
Yes.
So I have a 0.5% max daily loss, right? And I'm trying to stack up small wins every single day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how I go about cutting losses is it's the most difficult thing to learn as a trader because your system can tell you, your edge can tell you that this loss is a part of your system and you can have the most perfect, maybe you trail stops. I personally don't like to trail stops because I believe stops can kill a good trade. Because I've had a lot of trades float profit, go back to break even a little red, and then go to my target.
Mm-hmm.
So I've trained myself that every single loss I take is gonna feed into my equity curve,
Mm.
right? So
Okay.
at times I may hit break even, and it all depends on it's how confident am I that day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're not always performing at your best. There may
Right.
be times where it's like, hey, my emotions, I'm not having, and this is where self-awareness comes into play, right? I want to be risk off today
Mm.
because I'm in profit. I'm gonna move my stop to break even, and I'm risk off. If I win, great. If I don't make money, okay. I'm a little emotional today because I didn't sleep well. My body isn't biologically primed. So I'm gonna be risk off. But if I'm risk on and I'm confident, I don't want to move my stop. If I take a max daily loss that day, that max daily loss actually feeds my edge.
Mm. Can you walk us through your daily trading routine? Like, what's your typical trading day look like?
My typical trading day, it's been really short. I want the best trading days for me are short, precise, surgical. I don't mind putting in the work, but again, like I said, I'm coming from that hard work paradigm. I had to switch and like this isn't about hard work. It's about I get paid off the great decisions I make. So my trading days have been really short. On average, for the last few months, my days have not lasted. Obviously, I have my pre-market and then I have my post-market, which may take a couple hours accumulatively. But in the market, I'm lasting anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes,
Mm. In
right?
and out.
So in and out, exactly. From 9:30, most I'll trade is from 9:30 to 11.
Okay.
But on average, it's usually lasting 20, 30 minutes,
Mm.
15 minutes sometimes.
Mm.
And I'll usually wake up in the morning. If the worst trading days I've had were when I've woken up late. I remember I had a specific day where I had a really bad loss, and I had woken up, and the first thing on my conscious mind was like, because as a trader, you wake up and the first thing you think about is the charts.
Yep.
I
It's
guess
like
this
second
was,
nature.
yeah. I guess I had like some sort of intuitive download, and I was
Yeah.
like, don't. The first thing I heard when I woke up, it was like, don't trade today. Lo and behold, I traded and I blown an account.
Damn.
So I began to realize that I need to give my body and my mind a lot of time. So if market open is at 9:30, I need to be up at minimum 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm up at 7, I have time to ground myself, to drink coffee, to work out, to look at the charts and actually like make formulate a plan around my edge,
Mm.
right? So the real work is the 2 hours before and then the 2 hours after that short trading session. Because if I'm not priming myself before, I may make stupid decisions. I may FOMO in, no
Mm.
FOMO.
Right. Right. That's the
May
motto.
FOMO in, exactly, right? And I may over leverage, I may oversize, and I may not take a quality setup.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not taking care of what I'm doing after, I may have a day where I blew that large payout where
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing great and I self-sabotage myself because I'm feeling euphoric and overconfident. So really, I'm trying to be grounded, ready 2 hours before, quick, short surgical trading session, and then make sure the rest of the day I'm doing anything but trading. I may look at the charts, but I'm not trading.
Right. Right. Shutting it down.
Yes,
Like, so how do you decide when to enter or exit a trade? Like, what indicators or signals do you rely on the most?
I don't use any indicators. Any indicators.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention that because I was watching some of your stuff, and I noticed you trade with a naked chart.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yes. 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 I
Yeah.
trade with the naked chart because I believe in price action. I truly believe in price action. I truly believe that indicators can give you an edge. And if that is your thing, go for it.
Right. Right.
Because trading is such a personal journey. You have to have that confidence in your system and you have to have it has to match your personality, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So to me, like I said, I have my process of drawing up the high and low and the key levels, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for some sort of price action to form that's either the respecting of a supply. For example, if I'm looking at, let's say, an entry of mine is a break and retest.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking for a break of structure retest, so if I see that, let's say I see a key level get broken to the downside, pulls up, and then I see the candlesticks, 2 to 3 rejection wicks, and then a engulfing bar taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll be my entry. And then my stops, quick 1 to 1. I
Right.
may target halfway to the next key level.
Mm. Okay.
Same thing with a strong supply demand zone that gets respected. Or if I see some sort of liquidity sweep, my stop will be below where the price ended up rejecting
Mm.
or reversing.
So, like, tell me, what role does emotional control play in your trading? How do you
Everything.
manage your stress and anxiety during losing streaks?
I think it's kind of like you build a emotional. Everyone's different. I
Mm-hmm.
think you build an emotional resilience to it over time. Because I think as human beings and as just men and women, as people, we don't like to lose.
Right.
But that's where the reprogramming of your mindset is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to you can't take emotion out of it.
Right.
We
Right.
are emotion.
Right.
We're not robots. So the best thing you could do is sort of first you have to build up that resilience. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when people tell me I want to start trading, I say start small and get used to losing.
Yep.
Because the better you
Yep.
can lose, the winning will take care of itself.
Right. Right.
So it's a reprogramming of what losing means.
Mm.
And if you can look at it sort of like a coin flip,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't bash yourself or self-loathe or be upset when you lost a coin flip.
Mm.
It's called probability. So when you flip a coin, you might bet heads and get tails 3 times in a row, but the next coin flip, you literally have no doubt that it may be heads. And you also, and this is where risk management is so key, you also may get 5 or 6. How are you going to survive when you get the probability land on your side
Mm-hmm.
if you're not managing your risk? So you should rewire yourself either through visualization, meditation, or affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
so that your emotional response to losses is it's hard, but you're almost happy because you did a good job.
Right.
You did a good job. It was a
Right.
small loss. It didn't get away from you. The best traders in the world lose. And it's, like I said, feeding your equity curve. The loss is feeding your equity curve. Everybody starts out with an account and they take one loss and they think that's bad, but this one loss is going to protect you.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
going to protect you over the series of trades
And
that you take.
I in my trading journey, man, when I go on a win streak, I start to get nervous if I haven't had a loss in a while. And then in the moment I have a loss, the relief is there. It's like some weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, all right, now I got a loss. Now I can kind of recalibrate and keep going. Like,
Yes, yeah. Because
yeah,
you're not sure how you'll react to it.
right, right. And when it finally happens, you're like, because it's inevitable. It's coming.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, and like, how do you stay disciplined in sticking to your trading plan, especially when the markets are unpredictable?
Don't put yourself in a position where you're unemotional.
Hmm. Okay.
Because where you're emotional, sorry.
Right.
Don't put yourself in those positions that like I said, if I woke up and I had I had a conscious awareness of I shouldn't trade today. Don't
Mm-hmm.
trade. If the markets are unpredictable to you at that moment, because your craziness may be somebody's edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're a
Mm-hmm.
trend follower and the market's whipsawing on you, scalpers are like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're going hard, right? So,
Yeah.
but if I'm a trend follower
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to catch big R and the market's consolidating,
Mm-hmm.
why am I looking for a trend? There's no breakout.
Yep.
Why am I going to enter the trade?
Yep.
You know what I mean? If I'm a scalper, right? And I believe you develop these skill sets like as you go. I may evolve, but this is what's working for me. So if I'm a scalper and I just see flagpole, you know what I mean? Breakout. I keep seeing these patterns, trending market up, and I'm trying to scalp that market. Okay, it's gonna reverse now. Okay, it's gonna reverse now, and it just keeps trending. I'm gonna go crazy.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I would say that minimize. You're going to be emotional when you trade, win or lose, but minimize putting yourself in positions that heighten those emotions. And
Mm-hmm.
that I think that comes with maturity.
Right. Right. So like I know you said Mark Douglas' book Trading in the Zone was a good one. That's an awesome book. That's one I actually go to at least once or twice a year just to recalibrate my thought process on that aspect. But what books or courses or resources have you had that was the biggest impact on your trading journey?
So man, I was really big into audiobooks, books, and a lot of YouTube videos.
Hmm.
So if I'm gonna mention a few names, there's obviously the people that they may be amazing traders, but they market the lifestyle of it. And I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. That's very attractive to me. Everybody
Yeah.
wants that,
Yeah.
right? I'm not gonna be like, they're just liars. Like I get it.
Right.
Maybe the
Right.
traders, maybe the marketers. So that was influential to me as well. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
say it wasn't, okay? Because
Right.
I'm not above that, you know. But when I started to really dive deep into like sort of influences
Mm-hmm.
that I never took any courses. I just studied hard. I had 6 to 12 month period where I would go to the library and just read Mark Douglas books, listen to audiobooks, watch YouTube videos. There's a particular trader um, by the name of Tom Hugard.
Mm.
You're aware?
Tom Hugard. No. No.
He wrote The Best Loser Wins. It's
Oh
a book.
yes. Yes.
Yes.
I've read that book. I had that
Yeah,
book in my
exactly.
library.
Yes. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that is him. And he has like this 5 part. He has a lot of lectures, but he has a 5 part lecture. And that guy, I don't trade how he trades, or I didn't necessarily listen to whatever strategy, but he brought it to my attention that what trading is psychological.
Yes.
That he was one of the bigger influences to me. And then also there's a guy called David Paul. It's an older gentleman.
Yes. Yes.
David
I heard
Paul.
of David Paul.
He has a lot of presentations online. He introduced to me the coin flip theory of probability. And also there's a guy online by the name of Randy Howell.
I've heard
Randy
it.
Howell.
I've heard of that name before.
He's a trader psychologist. He's a trader performance psychologist. And he is what introduced sort of like the biology aspect of it to me that I'm like,
Oh,
I started to like seek, like, why did I do that? Because
mm-hmm.
that was a huge form of self-sabotage.
Right,
It's about to have a
right.
5-figure month here. I'm getting everything I wanted. I just blew it up. And I wanted to understand it. And he goes into the biological aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also one of my, so a lot of books, audio books. So Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, The Best Loser Wins. I've also read that book. A lot of YouTube videos. I also was influenced by the lifestyle people, but I started to transition more into the reality of it, where like the real
Right,
serious
right.
traders, like the ones that are
Because
like,
you start getting a sense of I want to last. I want to actually be
yes,
able to do this,
yes, yeah,
and
yeah.
so the flash of it starts to become a bit unappealing to you, and you want the longevity of it.
I want the real. I want the
Yeah,
real. I want the
yeah,
grind. You know what I mean?
right,
I don't just want the physique. I want to,
mm-hmm.
what do I have to eat? What do I have to
Right,
train?
right,
And that's how I started to correlate. Okay, so I want the lifestyle and the money. What do I have to do? Oh, I have to be disciplined. I have to journal. I have to record my trades. I have to be accountable. I have to
yep.
follow this rule set. I have to change my mindset. So I started to do the inner work and not just look at what the external had to offer me.
Mm. And you just touched on something I was just about to ask you about, man. How important is journaling your trades? Like, what insights have you gained from keeping a trading journal?
I'll give you a perfect example now. So the reason why I overtraded the other
Mm-hmm.
day, right? So for me, journaling, I'll get into that. But for me, journaling, I I didn't think it was. I thought it was above it,
Mm. Right,
right? Because I would
right.
make a mistake, and the mistake would be so obvious. Oh, I was impatient.
Yeah,
If I just
yeah.
waited 5 minutes, I would have been in a huge trade.
Yeah,
I
yeah. You're
won't
like,
do that.
I won't forget that no more. Like, yeah, yeah.
I won't do that again. And but we do.
Mm-hmm.
We continue to make the same mistake over and
Right,
over and over.
right.
So, for example, I had made a mistake where I had overtraded. I had ended break even, luckily. I wasn't risking a ton, but I had overtraded by one trade. I
Yeah,
like to be in and out, man. One
right.
to two trades, but I had taken an extra one. And the reason I took an extra one, and the only reason I was able to see this was because my strategy revolves around that New York Open, and I want to wait a few minutes to see what price does. I don't want to get it immediately. So that's a part of my edge. So I had journaled and I had noticed that at the same time I was getting in early, it was causing me to lose more trades, right? And it's simple. Oh, you're getting in 5 minutes too early.
Right,
But
right.
if and you tell yourself you remember it, but it's you don't have that like epiphany until you write it down exactly how it happened without lying to yourself, and then you write it down again the next day, and you're like, wait a
Mm,
minute, I just did this. Oh, that's a
right.
trading error that I need to rectify. That's why journaling is so important. It didn't dawn on me either. I am just now starting to journal heavy. As I'm starting to journal heavy, I am becoming a better trader.
Yep, yep. I do market breakdowns every single day on gold, and like some people thought I was like doing it trying to develop a following, and it just comes with the territory. But I'm recording it to just to put my thoughts down. So because I go back and look at it multiple times a day just to make sure, okay, what I thought at this time, let me make sure it's still playing out, and it just so happens to help the others that follow my trading view account doing those breakdowns every day. But doing that, it's a crucial part of my journaling process, to record my thoughts, then I type them down, and it kind of cements whatever I'm thinking about or expecting from the markets to play out to come into fruition. Like,
Yes.
what's your view on demo trading versus live trading when it comes to refining your strategy? Which I know you touched on demo trading before, so I know you're not a stranger to it.
Demo trading is a important part. It's actually you should demo trade.
Right,
You should,
right.
right? Because it's going to give you the data.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have known that what I was doing was going to be profitable unless I either A, demo traded. So the process should follow like this. if you obviously trading is not linear, and I was flipping accounts. I wasn't doing this. But if I were to go back to my beginner self, I would tell him this. Here's what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know nothing, right? You're going to learn simple price action patterns, and you're going to go on a demo account and you're going to apply that and risk management, and you're going to log everything down as if it was real.
Right.
Now you have a database. Now this database, you may refine it. You know, I'm not saying strategy hop. I'm saying as you trade, you're going to fix your mistakes and refine your own edge. But you're going to have a base, a template, a beginner template that's going to tell you what works. I took 500 trades on a demo account and I back tested and I'm winning 50, whatever it is. Maybe I'm winning 45% with a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Let me do the math. Is that profitable? Yes. Okay. Now you have a positive expectancy system. So demo trading is very important in that regard, because you're not just going to deploy ammunition at no target without knowing what you're shooting at, right? So now, if I'm going back to my younger self, you start with a dollar amount, let's say $500 to $1,000, and try to deploy that strategy in that live environment that's low pressure, right? And then if you can emulate it in demo, you can emulate it in a live account that's smaller, you now are able to scale up. It works. You can have confidence in it. So demo trading does provide you confidence. But there's a big but. If there's no pressure, no one's expecting me to make money, there's no money on the line, I'm not, there's no ego. I'm not gaining anything or losing anything, right? Then it's easy. If I'm in an arena with, this is like a real risk, with 1,000 people watching me, can I still perform?
Right.
So demo trading gives you the practice. You're in the gym, you're running scrimmages, but in the game, are you going to choke?
Yep.
And it's okay if you do, because you just started trading. You see, you're going to choke. So you're going to take losses, but it's how you recover and learn from those losses, and then you become better. You know what I mean? You won't let that winner turn into a loser. You won't add to losers. You won't cut a winner short just because I have to grab this, right? You're seasoned now. You have the data, you've applied it in a live market. And I believe that as you go up in the capital you trade, you're going to be more emotional. Somebody right now who can trade a 5-figure account super successfully with a certain amount of risk may become the same trader they were on day one if they're trading 6 figures, right? It's like it's like a college player in basketball, right? This guy in college, he may be averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11, almost a triple double, right? Now that is still a competitive environment. Take him to the NBA. He has to be developed. He can still be a star. He's not a bad player or a bad trader. He can still be good, but now he has to be developed under that bigger environment. So demo is the gym. When you're playing, when you start with a smaller amount, you're playing like a pickup game. The more you go up, there's more pressure, and then at a certain point, I believe you'll acclimate to that.
And like, so how do you continuously improve or adapt your strategy in changing market conditions?
Journaling. Journaling is the key. Journaling is the key to everything, because a lot of times the subconscious mind, or the mind, won't catch up to what's happening. We're locked in patterns, and especially if we've been on a winning streak. Losing teaches us. So if you lose and you journal and you correlate the loss with what you did wrong, okay, things are changing. It's like I took 3 shorts this week, all losses. Is this my edge? Let me look at the market. No, I took 3 shorts and the market was going up. There you go, right? But if I wouldn't have journaled, I would have been going with the same routine, because winning locks in patterns. So let's say I've been long bias and we've been in a very bullish market. I'm winning trade after trade, right? On an emotional level, I'm married to that bias. So unless I'm journaling, then I won't be able to really see what's happening. And journaling is also gonna help you refine. Even when it does work, you can see what can I do better? What did I do wrong? So journaling is key.
And like, I wanted to touch on your broader industry insights. What are your thoughts on the current state of the market? Where do you see trading opportunities today?
So man, crypto is a huge space. I have a lot of friends that are into to Bitcoin and
Mm-hmm.
crypto. Bitcoin itself, I've been looking to trade because I mean, I think we can. I think it's gonna go higher. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if you're not in, again, I'm the type of person that gets one thing and focuses on it until I master it. I've been trading Dow for 2 years. I've
Right.
traded other things, but I have not taken my eye off of that because I want to master one market. But something else I have my eyes on, and that may be a lot of opportunity there, is trading crypto, Bitcoin specifically. I'm not an expert at crypto,
Mm-hmm.
but that is another space that I've been looking at. There's definitely a lot of opportunity there for traders and investors alike.
Mm-hmm. And how has your trading evolved over the years? How do you see it changing in the next decade?
Wow, that's a really good question. I want more experience, so I'm going to be a scalper for now. I started as sort of like the intraday trader where I was taking like one to threes, one to
Mm-hmm.
twos, right? So I never was like a swing trader, but I found more success maybe because I'm getting more repetition with a shorter win rate. I mean, a shorter risk reward and a larger win rate. It's better for
Mm-hmm.
me, but ultimately, I may decide to become a swing trader. And ultimately in the long run, I may decide that okay, I made my bag. I want to still trade, but maybe I want to go about it in a different way. But for now, that may be years down the line. But for now, I want the experience. I want to be in the markets as much as I can without exposing myself too much. So I want to remain a scalper, but that can evolve. Like I'm not married to that idea. I just want the experience now. I want to get the reps in, and scalping provides you to get the reps in because it's a different. Yes, your emotions are lower if you're holding on to positions for days or weeks, but I kind of want to find out what I'm made of. So I want to be in that environment. I want to see how I react to winning streaks, losing streaks. Because remember, I was profitable. I was profitable and I was winning, but I was doing it unconsciously, not realizing
Mm-hmm.
that everything could be swept up under me. Like you said, when you're on a winning streak and then you lose, right? Going through that huge loss of like $15,000 that was about to be mine, that was when like, okay, I need to be more conscious, not just about trading, but about life, losing and winning. So I'm gonna stay as a scalper, but I may see myself becoming more of like a longer term holder of trades, maybe like a swing trader in the
Mm.
future.
So, like, what are some common misconceptions about day trading that you think should be cleared up?
Oh, that it's easy,
Mm.
that it's easy, that it's easy. Yeah, it's easy that you know what I mean. Like you can just go into this
Uh-huh.
without any understand. Like for some reason, we think trading, and I think it's there's the lifestyle that's marketed,
Uh-huh.
and then there's which again, nothing wrong with that as long as they're business practices, they're honest people, it's fine. I get it. It tracks eyeballs. There's the lifestyle is marketing, and then the physical effort of what you're doing. You're not calling, you're not using your charisma or your social, you're not selling anything. You're literally looking at a screen and making a decision to do a click of a button.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about when you do it. So, and that the harder you work, so first off, it's not easy. And that the harder you work at trading, the more you'll get input output. Now, that may be true in the sense of the harder you, it's more like the harder you work on yourself, the more you'll be open to what the market can offer you. It's not about hard work. And that's also something that held me back in the beginning because I'm coming from the hard work paradigm. Because
Mm-hmm.
my father, again, he started from nothing to something, immigrant to entrepreneur. And that put that in my mind that, and he would literally tell me that if you want, look, when I was in sixth grade, I wanted an iPad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all fifth or sixth grade. It's all I wanted. It was the first generation iPad. I swear I was obsessed with it. He made me work all summer
Mm.
with him every day
Yeah.
to get the iPad.
Right.
So as you can see, that's instilling this hard work concept and belief, right? And the same thing with the gym, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be a hard worker in life, but in the market, it's not hard work, it's smart work.
Mm.
So Those are two huge misconceptions. Number one,
Right.
it's easy. Number one, it can be done in 6 months. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be making six figures in 6 months.
Right.
And number three, the harder you work, the more you get. But really, no, there you can be trading for 15, 20 minutes a day and be making more than what the average person's salaries is.
Right. Right. So what advice would you give someone new just starting day trading today?
Oh man, dude, take like literally, I know you want this. I know you want this. If you're like me, you're this obsessive person. Once you realize the potential, you want this, bro. But number one, skill sets, like a doctor doesn't become a doctor in 6 months. That guy, he's going through years of college, years of being his residency. He's learning. He may not become a doctor for 6 or 8 years.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're expecting to be given this beautiful opportunity of financial freedom, personal freedom in like a short amount of time without actually developing the qualifications for it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with you. You should be delusional about it, but you need to give yourself adequate amount of time because you're gonna make mistakes and you have to be compassionate with the mistakes you make because you're human. And trading is not set up for the human mind. You have to build a whole new mind to operate under this environment. Then you may be a successful person, you may be driven, motivated, have all the qualifications of vigor and I get things done. But the market, understand it's not that type of environment. You have to develop a whole new mindset and set of beliefs to operate within it.
God damn. All right. So if you could hop in the DeLorean and go back in time, what would you tell yourself when you first started trading?
Dude, you're on the right path.
Mm.
This is for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna want to quit 10 times, but trust me, this is for you. You're on the right path. You found a calling and a passion and a skill set that you're gonna develop for the rest of your life. Keep going. You're
Mm.
good. You're good. That's what I
Amen.
literally would tell him he's good.
So, what is one mistake you see new traders making over and over again?
They have this fixation. Okay, two. Can I give you two?
Mm? Yeah.
They have a fixation on strategy and information because traders are usually really smart people.
Mm-hmm.
If you can see the opportunity, you can understand like what it really is. They're really smart people, so they tend to overanalyze everything, and they tend to strategy hop. They tend to just instead of starting with a 15-pound dumbbell, they want to go to bench 225, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to jump in with all the indicators, all the algorithms, all the different mentors. And it's like, dude, start with like a crawl, like a
Yeah.
paddle.
Yeah. Yeah. Slow
You-
down.
yeah, slow down. Slow down. Don't 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 just try to strategy hop. Stick to one thing that works. Journal so you can find out what is working and what isn't and evolve from there. Number two, don't listen to so many people at the same time. Because trading is one of these things that the path up the mountain is plenty. There's many different ways. Have discernment is basically what I'm saying. Have discernment and don't have an open mind, but believe in yourself. Have ego, but not so much ego.
Right.
Don't say like just because someone is profitable now doesn't mean that they have it all figured out. They went through
Mm-hmm.
the same process you went through. You know what I mean? And maybe you can learn something from them, but you yourself are a developing person. You know what I mean? You have to walk your own path. Gain all the help and motivation and advice that you can gain, but don't use discernment and don't put everybody on this pedestal because they're better than you. They just been doing it longer and they figured out something that works for them. Don't let so much information bombard your mind that you don't know what to do anymore.
Mm. So, like, man, we coming down to the end, man. And this section here, I like to call these sniper questions.
Yes, sir.
These are some rapid fire questions I'm going to ask you, and you answer with the first answer right off the top of your head.
All right.
What's your go-to trading platform?
I'm using prop firms right now. I usually use MetaTrader, but I do my analysis on TradingView, MetaTrader, and I'm basically trading right now. I'm using a match trader, so I'm using the firm the
The X platform?
yes, yeah,
Okay. Okay. And coffee or energy drinks?
espresso,
Coffee.
both.
And what is the most underrated skill in trading?
Emotional discipline,
Mm.
emotional discipline.
Favorite book on trading?
Trading in the zone.
Mark Douglas. And do you trade with music or in silence?
I like the stimulation, so I actually trade with music.
Ah,
It makes me better. It makes me
okay.
better. Yeah,
And best stress reliever after a long day.
a good workout.
Mm, mm.
Good
Man,
workout.
that's what it is, man.
Yeah,
Fernie,
man.
I appreciate you,
No, I
bro. This has
appreciate you,
been a
bro.
great conversation.
Hey, man,
Hey,
it's been
man.
great, bro. Thank you.
And man, I am enjoying following your process, man. I just want to see you grow, bro. And let's stay connected, bro.
We will, man. We will.
Yeah,
I thank you for having me on, bro. This has been great. I
for
love
sure,
talking
for
trading,
sure.
bro. My
So,
brother.
hey, guys, I thank you guys for tuning in to another No FOMO podcast, where we discuss keeping it cool and adapting to today's ever-changing markets. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that we don't miss out on those future drops. We've got plenty more insight coming your way. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, when it comes to trading, the best mindset to keep is no FOMO. That's what that is, man. We'll catch you on the next one.